What is going on, Titans fans? Welcome back to the Glory Days Sports Show, second week in a row. If you're enjoying the content, remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Make sure you follow us on Twitter/X or YouTube, or check out our long form content at Glory Days Sports on all platforms. But today we got a grand jam-packed episode in for you guys. Today we're covering a little bit of week one, doing a little quick review. We're going to dive into the week 2 Chargers game. I'll give you my predictions, give you some deep sleepers and fantasy football. So let's go ahead and hop into it. Before we get started, though, I want to just go ahead and give a quick little video to our sponsors, Functional Medical Institute.
What will your last 10 years look like? Will you be quick enough for a game of tag with your grandchild? Strong enough to embrace every moment? Will you grow old with vitality? Or get old with disease? It's time to decide.
Such a powerful message. That is from our guys over at Functional Medical Institute in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Make sure you go check out their free webinar. Check that out. It's 30 minutes long. They put them on every other Tuesday. If you check it out, you save $100 in your initial consultation, where they'll sit down with you for 90 minutes and come up with a game plan, having that be blood work, DNA testing, hormones, peptides, supplementation, nutritional guidance, you name it, they got it. Anything they can do in the clinic, they can do outside of the clinic. So definitely go check them out. But let's go ahead. Let's hop in today's show, starting with did we see the beginning of the end for Tannehill last week? Obviously, with the 3 interceptions, making poor decisions all game long. We saw some decline in athleticism, I thought. We'll see. We didn't hear about any of that in the offseason. We'll see if that continues to be a trend. But what I saw on film was I saw Big Ben in his last year, Peyton Manning, hell, even Tom Brady in that last year. I saw a lack of arm strength. Doesn't mean he can't throw the ball 50 yards downfield. We saw that. We saw him overthrow Chig. But the zip to get it into those tight windows, I saw a decline there. And it looked like he just has Dennis Daly ghosts in his past. He's in the pocket, not comfortable. He was never comfortable in the pocket, even before last season. And he's just making unneeded motions within the pocket. And ultimately, I really liked what we saw from Tim Kelly calling the plays. I love seeing the King Cat, having Tajay and Derrick Henry in the backfield at the same time. Love to see it. I think ultimately we'll probably see more of that as the season progresses. We'll probably see a couple more runs out of it throughout the next coming weeks. And ultimately, I think it's going to pay to where Derrick Henry's throwing the ball. I think it's going to be a red zone attempt. They're going to just try to do what they've been doing with him ever since we drafted him. He's going to run up to the line, hop over, and he's going to throw the ball. I think it's going to result in a touchdown more often than not. But I did like the play call to Chigakonkwo, and if Ryan Tannehill makes that throw, that's a walk-in touchdown. Love seeing these guys get open. Burks was open on multiple plays. Tannehill just didn't look his way. Obviously, he had the bad drop as well, but getting these guys open in open field, that's what we want to see. So I'm confident in Tim Kelly's play style that this is going to be setting us up for the future. Even the 2 misses to Tajay, love seeing him get involved. But ultimately, I think this is to set up for the future. This looked like, especially when we go empty, and this is looking like a Will Levis, Malik style offense for the future. I think that's what it's going to pay off. It's kind of fitting the square peg into the round hole right now with Tannehill, but ultimately I think it's going to work out in the end. We don't know if DeAndre is going to be playing tomorrow. Obviously didn't practice all week, but this is also a veteran's veteran. He doesn't need to necessarily practice to get on the field. So I'm hoping to see him out there. But let's go ahead. Let's hop into my keys for the game. it's got to be with the turn of the king. This is an offense that's going to run through Derrick Henry. And even though I love getting Tajay involved, Derrick had a great game last week. We just took him off the field more than we needed to. That needs to be the focal point of our offense still. He is still him. So getting Derrick involved, especially early, leaning on this defense that is going to be without Eric Kendrick and Dayon Henley. And we know Joey Bosa, he's questionable as well. So I'm assuming he's going to suit up tomorrow, but doesn't mean he's going to be as necessarily effective as he usually is. I still think he's definitely a guy we got to watch out for. But this defense held Raheem Mostert and the Fins last week, 3.7 a tote to their running backs. We got to lean on these guys with Eric Kendricks being out and Dayon Henley being out. I'm assuming just next man up is going to be Tanner Muse. If we see him out there, this is a smaller linebacker, converted safety out of Clemson. Get him on the weak side. Make him make the tackle on Derrick Henry. If we do that and put a hat on Kenneth Murray, we should be able to run on this team for sure and definitely lean into that. One thing I didn't like from Tim Kelly last week is I want to see more utilization of the play action. We set it up. We just didn't see the big play out of it necessarily. And that's where Tannehill does thrive. So definitely want to see that happen this week. But with my matchup of the week, it's got to be Chigakonkwo versus K9. This is a interior linebacker crew from last week. If you put K9 and which is Kenneth Murray and Eric Kendricks last week, they allowed 8 catches for 113 yards between the two of them. So Chigakonkwo, he's got to be involved, especially if Nuke is out. Get him involved early, and this is definitely a interior linebacker crew we can take advantage of in both facets of the game. We got next point. We got to win the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. We know last week Dillard struggled early. He did settle in as the game progressed. In the second half, I wouldn't say he had a good game, but he did improve. Hubbard played surprisingly well in pass pro. He did have Wesco and Chig on his side, helping him out a little bit throughout the game, but ultimately he played pretty well. I don't know if that's going to stick, especially going up against Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. And even if Joey Bosa doesn't go, they still have Tuli Tuipulotu, rookie out of USC, had a great profile coming into the draft this year. I really liked him. He didn't see a whole lot of snaps last week, but I think that could improve as the season progresses, as it should for a rookie. Brunskill wasn't advertised. Really liked his game. And then Peter Skoronski, that's a 10-year All-Pro. He's that guy. Obviously, if you didn't see, he's having some issues with his appendix, so he is ruled out for tomorrow. So who is going to fill that position? Is it Corey Levin? Is it Dillon Radins? Is it Xavier Newman? Really big question mark there. I think I lean towards Dillon Radins right now, which is super huge. There is no reason he should be back from an ACL as late as it was, but he is, and he seems to be healthy. He's still on the injury report, but practicing full all week. I think he's not Peter Skoronski, but I think he can be serviceable for us this week. So pretty excited with that. On the defensive side of the ball, Slater is the anchor for their line at the left tackle position. Actually started – Peter Skoronski was Rashawn Slater's backup and replaced him after he moved on to the Chargers. I was really hoping to see them both on the field at the same time. Ultimately, they both on offense, but I was hoping to see who would have a better game there. Both came out, both had the short arm, so they're very similar in that right. But he is going to be their anchor there. But as a unit in total, I wasn't super impressed by their run blocking. Obviously, Austin Eckler and Joshua Kelly did total 200-plus yards last week. I felt that was more so on the running backs than it was the line, though. We also got word today that Austin Eckler will not be playing in this game, which is another big, huge win for the Titans. Eckler, I believe he's a top 3 running back in the league. I think it's Eckler, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry. Those are my 3. They all do different things, but they're super effective in what they do. So Joshua Kelly, he's going to get the bulk of these carries. And he played well last week, but I don't think he is that guy that we saw last week. And this is similar to the Jamal Williams we faced last week. I think we can slow down this rushing attack definitely and put it into Justin Herbert's hand. As far as this line goes in pass pro, Zion Johnson at the left guard position and Trey Pipkins at right tackle. I think these are people we can take advantage of in pass pro. They both allowed a sack last week. Trey Pipkins is fine. I think we'll that's the primary target for us. Zion Johnson still very young, has a good profile, high draft pick, so he could put it together. And maybe he just had a bad week one. But Trey Pipkins, I think we can definitely take advantage of him. Brings me to my third point. Got to win the turnover battle. You can't do what we did last week and expect to win a game. We gave up so many turnovers and we left so many points on the board. Ultimately, we didn't score any touchdowns. This is a game we need to limit those. We have to lean it. We got to lean on Derrick Henry. Got to pound the rock. We got to control the line of scrimmage and can't turn over the football. It's pretty simple. Pretty simple football, but that's Titans football. Which brings me to my score prediction. And this is one I've gone back and forth with all week long. Even last week, I gave you my full season predictions, and I predicted the Titans to lose this game. It is the home opener in Nissan Stadium, and this is a game the Titans should not win, but those are the ones the Titans do win, and we see it time and time again. So I have flipped my prediction to the Titans winning 24-17. I think Derrick Henry punches it in a couple times. I think Tannehill, I think he turns the ball over one time, but I think he completes a touchdown to If DeAndre Hopkins plays, that may be great, but I think it's going to be Traylon or Chig. I think they catch a touchdown from him, and he keeps his job for another week. But ultimately, that is my game predictions for the Titans versus Chargers in week 2. But let's go and hop into some fantasy sleepers. So a lot of these are players that you might be able to find in your waiver wire still. Some of them are, some of them you might not. And then we got one deep sleeper today. For the quarterback position, you guys are not going to like this one, but I'm going Baker Mayfield against Chicago. I liked what I saw out of Bake last week. And you guys know I'm an Oklahoma fan. I'm not the biggest fan of Baker Mayfield, though. I liked what I saw, and it's more so his weapons more than anything. And I think Chicago bounces back in this game. I think Baker completes 2 touchdowns. While it's competitive, I think Chicago takes over the game towards the end, and I think Baker could get another garbage time touchdown as well. I am actually starting him in a league, and it's one of my Titans leagues. It's all Titans fans from Twitter, so definitely putting my money where my mouth is. Brings us to our running back position. This one was pretty easy for me. A.J. Dillon against Atlanta. We know A.J. Dillon is going to be the starter this week. So that's getting those totes. He's going to volume his way to a good finish, I believe. And I believe a touchdown could be in his horizon. I think Jordan Love is a lot better than a lot of people anticipated. And I think they can move the ball effectively. So A.J. Dillon getting 20-plus touches. I think he could be a viable number 2 running back for you this week. And then that brings me to the wide receiver position. And this one is nasty. I'll say that. If this is definitely a deep sleeper pick, but I'm going with Calvin Austin against Cleveland. Calvin is starting out of the slot for the Steelers this year. We know that, and I'm sure many of you are familiar with him. Athletic kid, played in Memphis. So this is a hometown kid to a lot of you guys, I'm sure. But Calvin, he's going to get an uptick in targets this week and probably this next month, really, with Deontay Johnson nearly tearing his hamstring off the bone. So Calvin Austin's going to get some more targets. I think he could break a long one, and he could be that deep option for this team. We know if George Pickens is on your waiver wire, which I anticipate he's probably not, you can go and pick up George Pickens, and I would rank him over Calvin Austin. But more often than not, I'm assuming he's probably not there, or he might be on your bench. But Calvin Austin, I think he's going to be the number 2 for this offense. And then their third is Allen Robinson, the ghost of Allen Robinson's past. At least I don't think he's worth anything. So I think Alvin has a good game. And then last but not least, we have our tight ends. And there's never a great pick off the waiver wire. You're hoping for a touchdown. You're hoping for some volume. So we're going back to the well. That is Tyler Higbee against Seattle. No Cooper Kupp, obviously. Puka Nakua and Tutu Outwell had a great game last week, but Puka has an oblique injury that popped up late in this week, which puts his playing in question. So you're just hoping that Tyler can catch a touchdown. Maybe he can put together 4 to 6 receptions for 40-plus yards, and that's probably going to get him within the top 10 of the tight ends. Unfortunately, that's what the position is at this point. But that brings me to the end of today's show. We got a couple comments, looks like, from Pretty Boy Lipschitz. He said, it's time for Levis. He said, Matt Ryan. I'm assuming that's who he's referring to as the decline that I was talking about earlier. And he's been hit too many times. And I 100% agree. Ryan Tannehill, he sees ghosts. It's just what it is at this point. But thanks for checking out the show today, guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe down below. If you're checking it out on YouTube, make sure you hit that notification bell. And we'll see you tomorrow after the game. Tighten up.